today what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about some of the frequently asked questions that people have when they hear about the JIA Blueprint. So maybe you've come across it here on YouTube, or maybe you've seen or heard about me from some moms that I work with, and you're checking me out, maybe from Facebook or TikTok. It doesn't matter. But it's a curious question that many people have because it's so oddly specific, right? And there really is nothing like it to compare it to. And let's face it, we're all super busy. And the thought of getting on a one on one call with me and being sold my program or something like that is just something that we don't have the time, mental bandwidth, or energy, or, really, we just want to know. We just wish someone would just tell us what is it, and we can make the decision on our own, right? And so I wanted to just share some questions that come up to me all the time because likely it's going to cover your question. And if it doesn't, then you can ask me the question in the comments here. You can also find me. You can also, if you're not already in my Facebook group, you can go ahead and find me on Facebook. And I have a group there. It's completely free. It's open to the public, and it's somewhere where you can ask me any questions about the blueprint, but even more importantly, about your JIA child and what to do and how to handle it and all those things. This is a resource, free resource that I offer to the public. I gatekeep nothing. I share as much information with you as I can. I promise you, if this was something that I didn't feel needed, or at least for a lot of people, that one-on-one, that hand-holding type support, the JIA Blueprint wouldn't exist. I would simply write a book or just share videos and give tidbits of information. And if that level of support really could get a person from where they are to where they're trying to be, there would be no blueprint. But I did it myself. And I do feel that it is possible. It's just, I really do believe, I tell my clients this all the time when they ask me, well, how long did it take you? We could talk about that. I don't think that I'm in the same boat as you. I really 100%, I see it every day, believe that where I was 10 years ago and where the world was 10 years ago and the level of toxicity was 10 years ago, although it was rearing its head then, I feel like I was the lucky one to have to do it on my own and have to do it with no resources and have to do it with no help and support, in the sense that our children are 10 times sicker today than my daughter was when we first got our diagnosis. So all that to say, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to help families walk them through. It's like a tour guide or something, or a ranger on a hike. It's like, okay, I know my way through these woods, and you're going to follow me, and I'm going to get you out, sort of a thing. So that's what the JIA Blueprint is. It's a program where I help families. I say I help moms. I say I help moms to get their confidence, their courage, knowledge of, understanding of what they're doing, the capacity to really know how to tackle this. And then I help guide them every single day. So I say minute to minute support. So that's one of the things that really sets the JIA Blueprint apart from, on any topic, not just juvenile arthritis. It's really what sets it apart from any level of help and support and coaching that you're going to get anywhere, because I am so passionate about this journey and what I've had to do to go through it. I'm probably getting a little emotional. And to know that there is a way to get out of it, but that it's so tricky and there's so many loopholes, and that you could totally be following the right protocol and still not succeed. And because I know all of that, that's why I created the JIA Blueprint. So the blueprint itself is comprised, it is a coaching program. It is a group coaching program where you have access to me 24/7 and constant communication throughout the day. And I'm able to, first, of course, you get the fundamentals, you get the program, right? So you know what you're doing. but then you have access to me 24/7 to help execute. And the reason why I set it up like that is because in my experience, what you could, I first started before I ended up, doing all the things that I did that I'm going to share with you on this video. Of course, I went the medical route, and then of course I went like the functional route. And the biggest flaw for me wasn't that anything necessarily was innately wrong, but it was that amount of time that I was on my own, right? Right when you pass through that threshold of that doctor's door, it's like 60 to 80% of what you said is gone. I'm on my own. I spent all this money on this appointment, on all these supplements in my bag, and I really have no idea what I'm doing. And so the way I liken it is like, so you're already starting off when you leave the office, like a little bit like, what was that? And then like as time goes by, you think you're doing the same thing as you're always doing, and you're like over here now from what you were supposed to be doing. And it's like drifting in the current of the ocean, right? Your towel's way over there now, and you're not even doing anything. So that is my experience of just how many things that I thought I was doing right, that I didn't understand, that I misunderstood, and on and on and on, that led me to not be making the progress that I could have been making had I had somebody to keep on realigning me every day. So there was that. And then also just the fact that what the protocol that's given to you in that really expensive, let's say functional doctor's office, that it's not like we're hurrying back every 2 weeks, it's expensive, right? But that advice that was given on that day, based on that screening or that test or whatever it is that was done, no longer applies after some work was done. It could be that it no longer applies because you've made progress and we need to adjust that way. Or it could be that it no longer applies because the body's reacting and it's too much too fast and you need to adjust that way. But we don't know because we don't have a brother who's a functional medicine doctor who we can just call at any whim and get all this information. We just got to go based on what we got in that one visit. And it slows us down. It discourages us, and it makes us think that we can't heal it. And it brings us back to the rheumatologist's office, back just focusing on the meds. And that's just something, a little side point there is that I want to say is like when your rheumatologist like poo-poos going this direction, this is where they're coming from. It's not like they are stupid or they don't know. It's a revolving door. They see this all the time. Parents wanting to go more natural, look for alternative routes, and they come back and your child is sicker than when they saw them the last time. Nothing wrong with the natural. It's poorly executed is my point. So to my point that you can have all the information in the world, correct information in the world, and still not even realize that you're executing it poorly or improperly or subpar, which, the rheumatologist is there to keep your child's joints from flaring. Okay, they can do that. So just to say that, I just want to give them a little bit of props because they do care. A lot of them do care, and that's where they're coming from. It's not that they don't understand it. It's just what we do in the blueprint is hard work. It really is hard work. This is not for everybody, unfortunately. So you're here, you're listening to this, you're like, hey, I've heard about this. What is it? It is not just supplements. It's not removing certain foods and then poof, I don't have a magic wand. This is tough work. It's a rocky road in the blueprint. We got ups and downs. We got tears. We got, feelings of defeat. We have all that kind of stuff while we're healing. And that's, again, what the JIA Blueprint is. It's a support system. I'm really there for my clients in a major way in that way, because when we're down like that, if we've done all this work and then there's a flare, oh, that right there. I mean, we're busy, right? We're tired. We're busy. We are confused. We don't know what we're doing anyway. It's just something like that. It could be like that, like last little feather that just like knocks us out. Like we just can't do it anymore. And so we need support. We need encouragement. We need support. We need to understand, why is this flare happening? And the good news is that flares when we're healing are actually good news. But another time, another video. But yeah, so it's a support and it's information and it's execution. So it's all those things without getting too much into the weeds about it. But I would just want you to understand exactly what it is that we do. So you have access 20, you have all the information you need, then you have all the support and help that you need all the way. Then I work with my clients face to face like this on Zoom every single week. So we're not letting this happen. We're getting that face to face every single week, and then we're executing throughout the week, and then face to face the following week and executing throughout the week. And that's why we get results. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean I'm doing all the work. None of that. This is all on you, Mom. And again, this might not be for you. Really, I would say 95% or more of people who are diagnosed with any autoimmune issue, this isn't for them. Most people are looking like they're just like, just make the pain go away, make the symptom go away. That's fine. This is a judgment-free zone here. That's just not what we do, is all. This is something totally different on a different level. So it's not about making the pain go away. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon, as they say. And we work really hard together as a team. And so because of that, because of the unknown timeline, then the JIA Blueprint, I made it a lifetime access program. Not because there is no end in sight, because that's not the case at all. We're working together every day and making progress. But life happens to people, job change, moving, parents get sick, you go on vacation, or, million different things happen that make it so that we can't execute on a plan perfectly. And for me, what I do and the level of support that I offer my clients, I'm not here to dispel information and just help you so long as, it's, mutually beneficial or financially beneficial, but it's to get you to your end goal. So that leads me to the next question. So it is a lifetime access. It is all the things that I discussed. And then it leads me to the next thing. That's a big one. How long does this take? Well, takes time. Takes a good bit of time. So the good thing is once you enroll in the blueprint and you start, following, the protocol that we follow inside the blueprint, you're going to see results immediately. That's the good news. Immediately. You're going to think I am just the best thing since sliced bread. But so yes, you do see immediate results. You do see that it's working. You do see that you're on the right path. But the way that the body heals itself is in layers. And if your child's body has gotten to the state where there are active flares in the body, that means their detox organs are sluggish. That means they're full of all sorts of harmful bacteria and yeast and so many different things. They're not absorbing the nutrients from their food properly. They're probably not digesting their food properly. It takes a lot for the body to get to the state that it's in where it's autoimmune. Lots of different things are going wrong. And so that we don't know how long it's going to take, but what we do know is that the body's going to heal in layers, and it's going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And when it goes deeper, sometimes it exposes things that weren't there before. For those of us who are really interested in actually healing, actually reversing disease, actually knowing what's going on in the body, that's a good thing. And that's why I offer the level of support that I do, because it is so involved and it is so personalized. Not only do we not know how deep it goes for your child, but we also don't know your family's lifestyle and situation and how not say fast, but how intensely you're even able to work at it. So I work at it at different levels with every single client. So that leads me to another question, what if I can't do this on my own? And that's just simply not possible. And that's because I work with each individual client. I meet them where they're at. So I like to liken it to like if you had to get on a tightrope and walk across the canyon, it's going to feel like, no, I can never do that. I could never do that. And it's understandable. What I like to tell my clients is like, look in my eyes and hold my hands. We're just going to walk. I'm going to go at your pace. I'm going to make sure you feel safe the whole time. You're just going to look at me. And when you get on the other side, you'll look back and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. So this is not a cookie cutter program. This is not something where, once you're enrolled, you just get folded in and you're doing what everybody else is doing. And this is step 1 for everyone. And this is step 2 for, no, we have a very thorough onboarding process. We make sure we fully understand your family, your circumstances, your child's disposition, your workload, your mental bandwidth, everything. And we start where you can start. So sometimes the start is eating through the Pop-Tarts in the house, depending on the person. And then sometimes the start point for certain people is a complete gut of the kitchen and starting in stage 1 of the GAPS diet and, going all head in. And those are 2 extremes. And then there's like everything in between. So it's your journey inside the JIA Blueprint. And as long as we put one foot in front of the other, that's what's important. And that's how we get the results and progress and everything like that. So another question that I get a lot is, what other supports do you have inside the JIA Blueprint? So the blueprint, which I like to call it, has grown over the years. It has way more resources than when it first started. When it first started, it was just me. It was just me and a Zoom camera and a big old heart. Then as time went on and I started helping people and realizing, hey, they need this, or hey, they need that, something I started doing was bringing in professionals that we could interview them, get them in contact with other people who can help them with other things. And in many cases, these individuals have become part of the blueprint. So again, like I said, used to just be the coaching program as described on the front end, but it's grown exponentially. So we do offer other services all inside the blueprint. Once you're in type of a thing. So we have functional medicine inside the JIA Blueprint. Why? Well, because I'm not a doctor, right? We need to look at labs and things like that. And a lot of times where people live, there might be a functional practitioner in your town, maybe not. But let me tell you what, they're not all created equal, okay? So you could really be spinning your wheels, wasting your time, wasting your money, going to someone who now is going to be like not even understanding what we're doing in the blueprint and things like that. So we've incorporated functional medicine inside the blueprint. So what I've done over time, and will continue to do if needed, right now it feels pretty thorough, but is make the JIA Blueprint the only thing that you need. And the reason I did that is because the same premise of why I created the blueprint in the beginning was because I wanted to relieve moms of everything that I was feeling when I was in your situation. So the confusion, I talk about that a lot, this information, that information, the overwhelm, how do I do all this? It's too much new information. Now I have to not just consume it, but understand it and then apply it. It's like, who can do that? Who has the time to do that? Or energy or bandwidth or any of that, right? And then just the confidence. I mean, we just feel, we go to the doctor's office and we're intimidated, right? We're intimidated. And so we feel that we just don't have the confidence to do this on our own. So that's why I created the blueprint, is so that you could have all the tools that you need, the confidence, you know what you're doing, so that way you can execute. Because if you're trying to execute in confusion or in insecurity or any kind of that overwhelm that we talked about, it's going to be a flash in the pan. You're going to give up. So if I find the highest quality solution to something that will complement what we're doing or become part of what we're doing, I include it. So we have functional medicine. We have a functional nutritionist inside the blueprint to help you in addition to myself. We also have labs, all the labs that you would ever need ran. Or you would ever go to, say, you go to a functional doctor near you, which, by the way, you come in the Blueprint, you like your guy, I'm fine with it. But what we do inside the Blueprint is we make it so that way you have access to that same functional medicine complementing the JIA Blueprint, but it's no extra charge. So you can talk to this person at any point in time, just like you can with me. And then what we really love is that the same labs that you would have ran, we run inside the Blueprint. We run them right inside the Blueprint. And what we offer to our clients is that you just pay our price. We don't upcharge for the labs that you run. So it's free in the sense, so it's not free, but it's no charge in the sense we're not charging you for these things. But we do, put you in contact with our labs directly, and you get the labs at our cost. Then you get the labs read with our lab technician, which is in-house inside the Blueprint. And you get them, and then we can discuss them over coaching and everything like that. So it's just to save, it's to conserve your energy, like the little bit that you have left to give before you snap, kind of a thing, everything all in one place. So we also have a nurse practitioner inside the JIA Blueprint. And that's because sometimes you need a medication or something. And again, not to say don't go to your pediatrician or anything like that. One doesn't replace the other, but it might be that maybe it's not simpatico at this time, or maybe, who knows? Who knows what the situation is? But regardless, she's a medical nurse practitioner. So you have her inside the Blueprint. And this is someone you can just go to for, regular virtual appointments. You can go because maybe something was recommended by on the functional side of things inside the Blueprint. But again, another resource that we have inside the Blueprint just to help you to have calm, to help you feel that you're in control, to help you feel that you're supported and that everything is aligned. That's why it's in there. So another neat feature inside the JIA Blueprint, which has been helping our children to heal exponentially faster, has been incorporating energy medicine into the program. So again, it's called bioenergetics. We work with a company called Energy for Life, energy, the number 4, life.com. And we have a practitioner inside the group that handles all of that. And again, it's something where, yes, there might be a cost not to run the tests because our practitioner is extremely generous with us inside the Blueprint. She runs all of the bioenergetic scans for every single person, not just your JIA child, but everyone in your family. She runs all those scans completely free. You can run them as often as you want. It's recommended to do it monthly. And then she gives you your portal, again, a professional portal with the company, so that way you can order those and those energy, they're called infoceuticals. You can order them through us at our wholesale price. So you're not getting, yes, there is a fee associated with getting, because you're purchasing something, but you're paying wholesale or professional price and things like that. So really, this is all just, again, to have everything all in one place and to make it as calming and easy for you. So you got to focus on your job, your career, probably. You likely have other children, maybe not. A life you'd like to live, a husband you'd like to give some attention to, or he would like. and really that's what I do, and why I have everything in one place is really for you. It's to heal your JIA child, but I often say really the JIA Blueprint is for the mom. And it's to give her that level of support and calm and confidence and just really feeling like she can do this, that having the camaraderie with the group and the support and just everything that you could possibly need. All at your fingertips, all in one spot, lifetime access, things like that. So another question that people have is that, how much does the JIA Blueprint cost? And that's something that I discuss on a call. Why? Well, mainly because as things change and grow along the way, so the price has adjusted and changed. And that's not something that I should put on a video that has been, that's going to stay on YouTube and up for, quite some time. And so that's a factor that can change as time goes on, and only as the blueprint improves and I have more people on board, then the price may fluctuate. But it's really important to me that money is never the reason why someone doesn't enroll in the blueprint. Because I'm here to help people, and I have clients of every socioeconomic status in the world inside the blueprint and all over the world. People, the currency exchange is much different. And so this is about helping families to help with this, right? Specifically juvenile arthritis, because that's my journey. But guess what? If your child is JIA, your other children, if you have any, are also autoimmune in some sense. If they're not showing symptoms yet, the key word there is yet. You're likely autoimmune or have hormonal disruption, your mate as well. And so this is really to help the entire family, even though it's called the JIA Blueprint and you're finding me because your child is JIA. This is about all autoimmune, all hormonal, all neurological, really cancers and as well, because that's just the flip side. I'm not trained in cancer treatment or anything like that, but the things that I do help to repair and restore the entire body. Okay, so of course it is going to help everybody and anybody in any situation. But as far as the cost goes, it's very important to me that money is never the reason that you can't be inside the blueprint. It might be other things. It might just not be the right fit. We're intense people over here. I mean, we have fun and we're doing really hard work, but it's not this kind of level of work. It's really not for a lot of people. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll never do that. Okay, teach his own, right? It is. It's intensive. It almost becomes who you are now, right? So that's not for everybody. Some people just want to take a medication. It made the symptom go away, and they're fine. I'm not gonna say anything negative about that because it might be you. And I don't, teach his own, I get it. I get it is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I work with people with that. So so don't hesitate if you think that might be the issue, because I work out cool different payment plans with people. I work with an amazing loan officer who goes way beyond what online loan applications can get you. She's amazing. So she can really she's creative, she's smart, and she helps people to get it in. She knows how to fill out these forms and things like that. And then like I said, and I'm happy to work out payment plans with people and everything like that. So, really it's just a matter of, we discussed that on the call. If it turns out you're a fit, if I think you're a fit, if you feel like this is something, because I don't want to just enroll people who I can tell they're not really interested in doing the work, or if their partner is really not on board, it has to be aligned, right? We all have to be aligned. And so, but when I can tell we really are a good fit and you really feel like it's something you want to do, hey, I'll jump through all sorts of hoops to make it work for you. And my loan officer does the same thing. So that is not something that you should worry about. You just know it's something that's doable and we can make it doable. So let's see, that's usually the last question people have, and probably the one that you were waiting to hear. And yeah, so, another question is like, well, what exactly are you doing? Right? Well, that's a good one. What exactly are you doing? Is it diet change? What if my child, there's so many questions now that I open that can of worms. What if my child won't eat the food? Okay. So although it's not just diet, what we do inside the JIA Blueprint, we follow the GAPS protocol. Although it's not diet alone that's healing us or healing our child. It's all the repair and restore and everything we're doing with the detox organs and dealing with the underlying infections, and then dealing with the leaky gut and dealing with all the the detox, I said detoxing, right? All these other things that need to get addressed like a well-oiled machine. We got to kind of get things going. So, but we do follow the GAPS protocol. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. Some people think it's really restrictive, or if they tried it simply by following just the book, and it could feel very bland, very difficult. And that's something that we completely turn on its head inside the blueprint. I mean, we've as a group, we've created our own cookbook. Think all these snacks and foods and lunches and camping ideas and sleepover ideas and birthday party ideas and all these things and how you handle your holidays and all that kind of stuff is all addressed inside the blueprint, again, to make this something that is not just where you have the information, but that it's enjoyable. Because the foods that we eat are so delicious. I like to say it's like we're eating like the French. Lots of healthy animal fat, butter, 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 delicious vegetables and eggs and cheeses and fermented foods and all that stuff. Organ meats, it often gets overlooked when people are implementing the GAPS protocol. So does detox. Detox is part of the GAPS protocol. Many people don't incorporate it at all. It's why they don't get the healing. And also, when you're just by yourself doing something, right, you could get into a rut. You have hundreds of other moms who are doing the same thing you're doing, who are making meals, making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and school lunch today as well. You're constantly inspired. But as far as them being picky, I want you to know that if your child is JIA or any autoimmune issue, the likelihood of them being picky eaters is really, really high. It's very rare. So, but it's not to say it's impossible. Very rare that I enroll a family and their kid just loves all sorts of foods. Usually they have their standard American diet. They like things that are white and soft and crunchy. And that, what I like to say is that's not them. That's not your child, by the way. That's their gut microbiome. So there's something called the gut-brain axis. The microbiome in the gut's calling all the shots to the brain. Again, that's another reason why haven't been discussed in detail in this video, but that's another reason why neurological issues and autoimmune issues really are the same thing. So it's all connected. So it's the microbiome in the gut that's telling your kid, hey, send these foods down to me. This is feed me, feed me. So it's that bacteria. Once we turn that around, which only takes about 2-3 weeks or so, it's amazing what these kids just their taste buds just change, and it's a really cool thing to see. So don't worry about picky eating. Don't worry about, can I do this diet? Because that's what we're all here for, is to help with it. So that was another good one. Yes, we do follow the GAPS protocol, but we're also using functional medicine. We're also using energy medicine and, just other things besides diet. We're cleaning up the home. We're changing out gradually, right? I don't want to overwhelm you, right? But maybe we're swapping certain chemicals in the house, or, removing air fresheners, or, so it's maybe we're changing our pots and pans from the Teflon to stainless steel, maybe we're getting a new water filter this week. So it's a flow what we do in order to make our home, but you're getting all that guidance, you're getting all that direction, you're getting all that support. So I hope this information was helpful to you. I hope it helps you to decide the direction that you want to go with your family's health and addressing your child's juvenile arthritis. I know this is something that's been, very big on my heart since my daughter was diagnosed now, and still JIA free, I would like to say, well over a decade now. And it's just nothing more that, very little more, I would say, that I enjoy more than, not that it's enjoyable, because it can be very stressful, but there's nothing that matters to me more than helping other moms to find this path. So that's everything I get, not everything, but that's a lot of the questions that I get about the JIA Blueprint. If you have others, you can ask them to me right here and I'll respond. I also like to mention that I do have a completely free public Facebook group. It's called Juvenile Arthritis and Uveitis Blueprint. You can join that completely free. You can ask me any questions you want there. It can be additional FAQs, but it could also be like anything having to do with implementing the diet, the protocol, you're trying to DIY. I'm here to help you. This isn't anything where, I'm only here to help people fully if they join my program. No, I'm here to help people to learn this information, to apply this information. What I found is that this is a really difficult thing to do without the level of day-to-day support that I'm offering inside the blueprint. That doesn't mean it's impossible to do. And maybe that's how you prefer it. And so just ask me. I'm happy to help. Okay. And I'll see you on the next video.